Hey, happy day. Accept the socialist movement or change it. If you do not change it, then you must accept it. Then, of course, you will be adapting to the mental confusion that so many of those liberals do have. So many, I take that back. All of them have mental confusion. It's a disorder. Hey, we can make it better. There's a man in Canada. He filmed himself. He took a picture, a video, while he was launching a very hateful attack, apparently on a Ottawa Centre member of Parliament. Her name was Catherine McKenna, and outside of her office. And so McKenna now says, hey, that incident is totally unacceptable. I welcome vigorous debate, but this escalating harassment and abuses have to stop. Well, then you need to start. You need to start working because people don't know what to do. You got to get back with the program instead of all this nonsense. You sit around and you're hurting all the citizenry, all you people. And then, of course, she always says, people like her always say, it's an assault on women. Hey, I don't think there's any prejudice, whether you're a male or a female. If you're doing a job that you ain't doing a job because you got the job and you shouldn't have the job, it's a bad job. And people are frustrated. And I've said it before and I repeat it. I can't say it often enough. Do your job from a right-wing perspective. And right-wing, what does that mean? That means the opposite of wrong wing. Not necessarily left wing, wrong wing. You people, you're taking all of the money out of the citizens' pockets and more rules all of the time, and you're dumbing everybody down. Smarten up. Saying. Now, there's a woman in Toronto, Canada. Her name is Heather Malik. She's a columnist for the Toronto Star. She's been around a long time, and she makes me crazy. She's an extreme leftist, right? And she's full of opinions. I don't think that she reports news very much, if at all. And recently she said this, Kamala Harris is the bright star of American politics and American life. Okay. America's salvation. Okay. She's a feminist. Okay. What does that mean? What is that? I don't know what it means, a feminist. I guess that means you're a female? I don't know. Here's what's going to happen. She says, this almost needs time to be blah, blah, blah. All right, here it is. When Miss Harris gets to be in charge, well, firstly, she won't be in charge. I think she's running for vice president. I don't think she's running for president, but anyway. She said when she's in charge, there will be a brief civil war. Brief, so that's okay, right? It'll be brief. And then she's going to rejoin, again, she ain't the president. She can't be the president unless the other guy dies right away. She's going to rejoin the World Health Organization, the Paris Agreement and climate change, the Iran nuclear deal's got to come back on like it was. She's going to patch up relations within NATO. She's going to have all kinds of conferences. She's going to replace all these alien Supreme Court justices with some really, really good liberal ones. She's going to fix the criminal justice and healthcare reform, and she's going to build an educational system, and she's going to abandon the border wall and let them all come in because that's what we all got to do, and that's Heather Malik. What a bunch of dumbness. And then, of course, there's another column from her. And it's with regard to that what I've already covered with a lady politician in Ottawa. She says attacks on politicians, particularly females, are bad. Particularly females are bad. That's a little worse, is it, than kind of hurting a man or attacking a man? Why is that? And then she said women are having these attacks because of the toxic and violent atmosphere that was created by the Trump era. So it's Trump's fault. Of course it is. And then she says all good men are feminists. Maybe I'm not a good man because I don't know what it is. I mean, I really don't know what it is. As dusk arrives, this is talking now about herself, I am less free to walk around my own neighborhood. There have been several violent attacks on women, domestic violence attacks on women in the house and in the home, and it's increasing all of the time. Well, you know what? What do, Heather? Oh, you're the same person who's against guns, and you're against pepper spray and bear spray. So I'm not too sure what you're talking about. You don't want to look after yourself. I mean, occasionally people do walk by themselves, male or female. So maybe you should have the right to defend yourself, but you've been one of these people that are saying, we don't want any rights. You got no rights. How do you like that? Here's a Canadian's view of President Trump. This was taken from another online website, and I thought it was kind of cool. I wanted to share it with you. Just consider this. Whatever you think of President Trump, you might think he's a jerk, but listen up. He's from New York. He's crude. And of course, he can be rude. Some say he's a arrogant jerk. And maybe he is. He gets his feelings hurt and he's a hothead. He hits back harder than he gets hit, and he probably should tweet much less. But let me tell you what else he is. He's a guy who demands performance and, more importantly, results. He does demand results, and he gets them. He spent his entire life in the private sector. You either produce or you get fired. Pretty simple stuff. He's a guy who asks a lot of questions, and the questions he asks aren't cloaked in fancy political phrases. They are what the heck questions. For decades, the health industry has thrown away billions of dollars of face masks after one use. President Trump says, why are we throwing them away? Can't you sterilize them, wash them, use them again and again? Pretty good question. And the answer was, of course we can. Hey, you get to save a bunch of money and time. Where do you buy the masks anyway? Oh, they all come from China. Maybe they shouldn't. Maybe we should make them here. He's a guy who gets temporary hospitals built in 3 short days. 3 days. Other guys will still be having meetings, right? That's just what they do on the left. Trump, he's a guy who gets auto industries to restructure to build ventilators in a business that's highly regulated by agencies that move slowly, like they're paralyzed. He's also the guy who says, why aren't we using drugs that might work on people? They're dying anyway. What the heck do we have to lose? Another pretty good question. He's a guy who restricted travel from China when the Democrats and liberal media were screaming, hey, if you do that, President, you are racist. Now they're saying, you didn't react sooner. You should have done it sooner. Now you're a really dumb guy. Because of you, people are dying from the China virus, as he often says. What is it called now? There's so many different names. Coronavirus, COVID virus, except Trump is the China virus. When he shut down the borders in the early days of this virus, the Democrats screamed even louder and louder. He's the guy, President Trump, who campaigned on securing the border, protecting Americans. And the same leaders of the Democrat Party, that would be the Clintons and the Schumers and the Reids, Obamas, the Waters, Pelosi's, all of them were in favor of having a wall until Trump wanted to do a wall. And they had a different name for it. It was called the fence. But the pictures, they're the same. They were the same. But now that Trump is doing it, they don't like it. I mean, it's a bad idea. And the list, I have a list. You just hang on. I'm going to turn a page here. We have more on this man's list. Man who came from another website. Trump is an accomplisher. He has accomplished more than any United States president in my lifetime. So says this person, and he says, I'm 77 years old. President Trump puts in 18 to 20 hours a day, every day. He doesn't hide in his office. For the good of America and for the good of the world, y'all better hope that he's reelected this November. I couldn't agree with him more. You don't have to like the man, but you got to look at the results. You got to get past all that other stuff. The PPC party in Canada, People's Party of Canada, there's hope with them. I mean, they're kind of a right-wing party, but I have wondered what happened, what's happening. They haven't had a leadership convention. They haven't had any of that normal stuff. Can they? Will they? It seems odd that they haven't. Max, I get it. It's kind of his party, but the Reform Party was Preston Manning's party, and they had open elections. Unfortunately, certainly for him, and maybe for the country, I don't know that, but Preston lost. But he stayed, and it was all about being a patriot. Is that part of the PPC makeup? I don't know any of that. Lastly, here today or tonight, a scoundrel dropped in to see me yesterday. He asked me to forgive him and forget all the things that he did when he betrayed me. And he betrayed others as well, forgive and forget. And I thought, you know what? People do make mistakes. I want to share this video with you.
If any person here knows of any just cause or impediment why these two should not be joined together in holy matrimony, let them speak now or forever hold their peace.
Yes! I do. The groom is already married. He married me 3 years ago, and don't let him deny it. I've got the marriage certificate to prove it. Oh, sorry. Wrong church.
That's kind of cute, huh? But while that did make me think about that scoundrel that come into my office, forgive and forget, I thought about it again, and it occurred to me, forgive and forget. I ain't Jesus, and I don't have Alzheimer's. So I didn't. Hey, y'all, come back here tomorrow. Don't forget.